Within the last 6 months or so that Glenn was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and we had been suspecting.
Glen Campbell captured the hearts of his fans and critics alike with his smooth voice, yet his inspiring journey was not without tragedy. Glen's humble beginnings was something everyone could boldly talk about. But for his final days, those who told the story always end up in tears. Join us as we explore Glen's tragic life and influence. Glen Campbell's death. Glen Campbell, a legendary musician and actor, touched millions of lives with his extraordinary talent and heartfelt performances. But behind his success lay a heartbreaking journey that culminated in a tragic and heartbreaking end. In June 2011, Campbell revealed that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease 6 months earlier. This devastating announcement shocked his fans and the music industry, as Campbell had always been known for his sharp wit, infectious smile, and incredible artistry. The diagnosis marked the beginning of a challenging chapter in his life, one that would test his resilience and redefine his legacy. Following the revelation, Campbell made the difficult decision to withdraw from a planned concert tour in Australia with his longtime friend and collaborator Kenny Rogers. Despite this setback, he was determined not to let the disease overshadow his passion for music. In a courageous move, Campbell embarked on a final tour across the United States, accompanied by his family. This farewell tour became the foundation of the critically acclaimed documentary Glen Campbell, I'll Be Me, directed by his close friend James Keach. The film offered an intimate look at Campbell's battle with Alzheimer's, highlighting how the disease affected not only his memory but also his ability to perform. Yet even as the illness took its toll, Campbell's love for music shone brightly. His final performances, though bittersweet, were a proof of his indomitable spirit and enduring talent. The documentary resonated deeply with audiences, earning a rare 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It captured the raw emotions of a man grappling with a cruel disease, while also celebrating his profound impact on the music world. Through I'll Be Me, Campbell became a symbol of strength and vulnerability, inspiring countless others facing similar struggles. In 2014, as his condition worsened, Campbell was admitted to a long-term care and treatment facility specializing in Alzheimer's patients. This transition marked a painful reality for his family, who remained steadfast in their support and love for him. His wife of 34 years, Kim Campbell, stood by his side throughout the ordeal, demonstrating unwavering devotion in the face of unimaginable challenges. Unfortunately, on August 8, 2017, Glen Campbell passed away in Nashville, Tennessee, at the age of 81. The world mourned the loss of a true icon, whose music and legacy would continue to inspire generations. Campbell was laid to rest in the Campbell Family Cemetery in Billstown, Arkansas, a place close to his heart. In the years following his death, Kim Campbell released a memoir titled Gentle on My Mind, In Sickness and in Health with Glen Campbell, in June 2020. The book provided an intimate glimpse into their life together, chronicling the joys and sorrows of their journey. It served as a heartfelt tribute to their love and an honest account of the challenges they faced during his battle with Alzheimer's. Glen Campbell's story is one of immense talent, resilience, and love. His tragic death reminds us of the devastating impact of Alzheimer's disease, but his legacy remains a beacon of hope and inspiration. Through his music, his courage, and the unyielding support of his family, Glen Campbell continues to touch hearts, even in his absence. Although Glen Campbell touched lives with his music, it seemed it never got to his children. Do you know that Glen's children had issues after his death? And according to reports, it was gathered that his battle with Alzheimer caused it. Let's explore more about this, so stay tuned. The dispute regarding Glen Campbell's last wish. The dispute concerning Glen Campbell's last will arose shortly after his passing in 2017. The will, created in 2006, notably excluded 3 of his 8 offspring, Travis, Kelly, and Wesley. This exclusion ignited a protracted legal conflict that overshadowed Campbell's legacy. The 3 disinherited children, all from Campbell's earlier marriages, challenged the validity of the will, contending that their father did not possess the right mental capacity when he executed the document, a condition that was aided by his Alzheimer's disease. They asserted that he was vulnerable to undue influence, which resulted in their omission from the will. This legal confrontation extended beyond mere inheritance issues, prompting inquiries into Campbell's mental condition at the time the will was drafted. Alzheimer's disease, recognized for its detrimental effects on memory and cognitive abilities, can significantly hinder an individual's capacity to make informed legal decisions. The children maintained that their father's diagnosis should have been a critical factor in evaluating the will's legitimacy. The situation was further complicated by the substantial disparity in the estimated value of Campbell's estate, which was approximated at $50 million at his death, while the will indicated a value of only $410,000. This inconsistency introduced additional layers of complexity to the legal proceedings, resulting in further challenges and investigations. The legal expenses associated with the estate became a contentious issue. Debbie, one of Campbell's daughters, raised concerns regarding the legal fees amounting to $211,533 that were charged by GT Law. In defense of these costs, Kimberly Campbell, the widow of Glen Campbell, argued that they were warranted given the intricate nature of assessing and safeguarding the late artist's assets. In an unexpected development, the three disinherited children chose to withdraw their challenge to the legitimacy of the wills in late 2018. The siblings reached an agreement to dismiss their complaint, although the legal documentation filed in Davidson County Probate Court did not elaborate on the rationale for this decision. This resolution effectively concluded the legal disputes surrounding Campbell's will, yet the surrounding controversy remains a notable aspect of his legacy. The resolution of the dispute regarding Glen Campbell's will, which had been a source of contention since his passing in 2017, was finally achieved in the following year. The three disinherited children, Travis, Kelly, and Wesley, opted to cease their attempts to contest the will. This choice signified the end of a protracted legal struggle that had overshadowed Campbell's legacy for an entire year. The rationale for their decision to withdraw the case was not made public, which has led to various speculations. Challenging a will can be a multifaceted, costly, and emotionally draining endeavor. Legal expenses can escalate rapidly, and the emotional strain of familial conflicts, particularly those that unfold in the public domain, can be considerable. Furthermore, the likelihood of achieving a favorable outcome in such disputes can be unpredictable, especially when the will was created and executed many years prior to the testator's passing. The choice to cease the legal confrontation may have also stemmed from a need for closure. The loss of a loved one is often profoundly distressing, and protracted legal battles can extend the mourning period. By opting to withdraw their case, Travis, Kelly, and Wesley may have sought to attain some semblance of peace and to begin the process of healing following their father's death. Although everyone tried to heal from Campbell's death, one person refused to do so. To make it more interesting, she paved the way for Campbell's lasting legacy. Would you like to know who she is? Keep watching. Kimberly shields her husband's legacy. The impact of Glen's passing was profound for Kim, who had witnessed her husband's gradual decline due to Alzheimer's disease over the preceding years. By the time of their final farewells, the essence of the man she cherished had largely faded. Although Kim Campbell was deeply affected by her husband's death, she had spent many years preparing for this inevitable outcome. Glen had received his Alzheimer's diagnosis nearly a decade prior to his death, and Kim understood that it signified a limited time left together.
One day as it comes, and make the most of every day and enjoy life and just try to have fun, right?
Several years following the death of Glen Campbell, his widow, Kim Campbell, announced her initiative to establish a museum in his honor. The Glen Campbell Museum, located in Nashville, serves as a tribute to her late husband and allows her to revisit cherished memories of their life together. Although Kim had mentally prepared for Glen's passing after his diagnosis in 2010, the process of creating the museum became an essential step in her journey of acceptance regarding his absence. Kim Campbell described the experience of sorting through the extensive collection of memorabilia as both poignant and challenging. Each item she handled evoked memories of her late husband, initially bringing sadness but ultimately transforming into a therapeutic experience. By the time the museum was ready to welcome visitors, she felt a significant emotional release. Despite his passing, Glen Campbell continues to be celebrated as a prominent figure in the country music landscape. The Glen Campbell Museum showcases a variety of costumes and music-related artifacts, as one might anticipate, but it also includes elements from the late Glen Campbell's pursuits beyond music. An enthusiastic golfer, Glen regarded the sport merely as a pastime rather than a serious endeavor. His remarkable collection of golf clubs is now displayed in the museum. Additionally, visitors will find the musician's 2001 World Series ring, which he acquired through his ownership stake in the Arizona Diamondbacks. A portion of the museum's proceeds supports Abe's Garden, the facility where Glen spent his final years, while another portion benefits the Kim and Glen Campbell Foundation, which focuses on music therapy initiatives. Another significant feature of the museum is the Rhinestone stage. This is a venue for country music preservation, which has a small performance space known as the Rhinestone stage. The Rhinestone stage represents a significant element in the establishment of the museum, reflecting Kim Campbell's deep enthusiasm for its development. This venue provides a platform for emerging Nashville artists to showcase their talents before an audience. The significance of this venue is particularly meaningful to Kim, considering her late husband's fervor for country music. Additionally, the venue holds extra emotional weight for Kim, as her 3 children have pursued careers in music, mirroring their father's legacy. Still on the tale about legacy, let's examine how Glen's children carry on the gospel of his enduring legacy. Glen's influence on his children.
Is launching her own career.
Really?
And
Singer?
singer, yeah, with Big Machine. And Shannon's.
Glen Campbell and his widow Kim have 3 children, Cal, Ashley, and Shannon, all of whom have embarked on their own musical journeys. Cal has established himself as a studio musician, collaborating with prominent artists, including Beck. Shannon, on the other hand, is part of a rock and roll band. Among the siblings, Ashley has closely emulated Glen's musical path. Ashley stands out among her siblings as the sole individual to pursue a career as a solo country artist, following in the footsteps of her father, Glen Campbell. She has released her own country album titled The Lonely One, showcasing her vocal talents and banjo skills. Unlike many contemporary country musicians who lean towards a pop-influenced sound, Ashley opts for a more traditional approach, a value instilled in her by her late father. Interestingly, Ashley did not initially aspire to follow her father's path. Rather, she envisioned a career in theater. During her time at Pepperdine University in California, she studied theater and discovered her affinity for the banjo while preparing for a university play. After graduating in 2009, Ashley received a unique opportunity from her father, who recognized her newfound banjo skills. Glen invited her to join him and his band on a tour of Australia and New Zealand, as he was in need of a banjo player and believed his daughter was the perfect fit. Initially hesitant, Ashley ultimately embraced the chance to tour with her father. Tragically, a year later, Glen was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. In response to this diagnosis, Ashley extended her time with her father's band, prioritizing both their shared moments and her support for him. She understood that nurturing her father's passion for music was vital in mitigating the progression of his Alzheimer's. Alongside performing together, Ashley also ensured that her father attended various musical events for as long as it was practical. The last concert that Ashley attended with her father was a poignant event, marked by the performance of the Americana band, the Punch Brothers. This concert held a special significance for Ashley, as it was a rare opportunity to share a moment of musical connection with her father, who had been grappling with the effects of Alzheimer's disease. At this stage in his illness, her father's ability to engage with music had been severely compromised. The vibrant melodies and intricate harmonies that once captivated him now seemed to elude his grasp. Yet, despite the challenges posed by his condition, Ashley was struck by his unwavering enthusiasm. Each song performed by the Punch Brothers elicited a heartfelt response from him, culminating in a standing ovation that resonated with both joy and sorrow. It was a bittersweet reminder of the man he once was, a man who had revealed the power of music. Ashley's reflections on her father's passing reveal a complex tapestry of emotions. Like her mother, she felt a sense of relief when he finally succumbed to the disease that had so thoroughly transformed him. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with moments of heartache as she watched her father decline into a mere shadow of his former self. The vibrant personality that had once filled their home with laughter and music had gradually faded, leaving behind a fragile figure who struggled to recognize the world around him. This decline was not just a loss for Ashley. It was a profound transformation that altered the very fabric of their family life. Growing up in Phoenix, Arizona, Ashley was largely insulated from the impact of her father's celebrity status. The bustling, entertainment-centric environments that often engulf the lives of famous individuals were far removed from her everyday experiences. Instead, her childhood was characterized by a sense of normalcy, where her father's fame was a distant concept rather than a defining aspect of her identity. It wasn't until one of the earliest moments of her youth that she began to grasp the extent of her father's influence in the world of entertainment. This realization struck her when she learned that he had lent his voice to a character in Don Bluth's animated film, Rock-a-Doodle. The film, with its colorful animation and catchy songs, became a touchstone for Ashley, a tangible connection to her father's artistic legacy. As she matured, Ashley's understanding of her father's musical talents deepened significantly. She began to appreciate not only the artistry behind his work, but also the dedication and passion that fueled his career. Ashley expressed her profound admiration for videos showcasing her father performing alongside iconic musicians such as Johnny Cash and Ray Charles. These moments captured not only the incredible talent of Glen Campbell, but also the camaraderie and artistry that defined an era of music. It is evident that although Glen passed away in a tragic way, his life and career was impactful, especially to his family. To totally understand how much Glen influenced the music world, we should take a step back to how everything began. A glimpse into Glen's life and career. Just like the saying that everything must have a beginning, Glen Travis Campbell was born on April 22, 1936, in Billstown, a small community near Delight in Pike County, Arkansas. He was the son of John Wesley and Carrie Dell Campbell, and belonged to a family of Scottish and Irish heritage, being the seventh of 12 children. The family resided on a farm where they struggled to make ends meet by cultivating cotton, corn, watermelons, and potatoes. Campbell began playing the guitar at the age of 4, receiving a $5 Sears guitar from his father, with his uncle Boo teaching him the fundamentals of playing. Music was a significant part of his family life. As Campbell noted, "Back home, everybody plays and sings." By the age of 6, he was already performing on local radio stations. Throughout his youth, Campbell continued to hone his guitar skills without formal training, practicing during his free time from working in the cotton fields. He developed his musical abilities by listening to the radio and records, citing Django Reinhardt as one of his greatest influences. At the age of 14, he left school to work in Houston with his brothers, initially installing insulation and later taking a job at a gas station. Dissatisfied with unskilled labor, Campbell began performing music at fairs and church picnics, singing gospel hymns in the church choir. He eventually secured opportunities to perform on local radio stations, and after his family relocated to Houston, he made appearances at a local nightclub. In 1954, at the age of 17, Campbell relocated to Albuquerque, New Mexico to join his uncle's musical ensemble, known as Dick Bills and the Sandia Mountain Boys. During this time, he also made appearances on his uncle's radio program and on K-Circle B Time, a local children's television show. It was in Albuquerque that he met his first wife, whom he married when he was 17 and she was 16. Throughout his life, Campbell was married 4 times and had a total of 6 sons and 3 daughters. In 1955, he wed Diane Marie Kirk at the Bernalillo County Courthouse, and they welcomed 2 children, Glen Travis Campbell Jr., who was born 2 months premature on July 25, 1922, and sadly passed away shortly after, and Deborah Kay, Debbie. Following a mandatory separation of 12 months, the couple divorced in 1959. On September 20, 1959, Campbell married Billie Jean Nunley, a beautician from Albuquerque with whom he had 3 children, Kelly Glenn, William Travis, and Wesley Kane. Billie filed for divorce in 1975, and their divorce was finalized in the next year. On September 2, 1976, Campbell married singer Sarah Jan Davis in Carson City, Nevada, and they had 1 child, Dylan, before divorcing in 1980. After his separation from Sarah, Campbell entered into a relationship with fellow country artist Tanya Tucker, which attracted considerable media attention. In 1982, he married Kimberly Kim Woolen. The couple first encountered each other on a blind date in 1981, during which one of them was performing as a rockette at Radio City Music Hall. Together, they raised 3 children, Cal, Shannon, and Ashley, all of whom began performing alongside Campbell on stage starting in 2010 as part of his touring band. Campbell's musical journey began in 1960 when he relocated to Los Angeles to pursue a career as a session musician. By October of that year, he had joined the Champs, and by January 1961, he secured a daytime position at American Music, a publishing company, where he wrote songs and recorded demos. These demos quickly established Campbell's reputation, leading to his demand as a session musician and his inclusion in a collective of studio musicians later recognized as the Wrecking Crew. In May 1961, he departed from the Champs and subsequently signed with Crest Records, a subsidiary of American Music. His debut solo single, Turn Around, Look at Me, achieved moderate success, peaking at number 62 on the Hot 100 in 1961, but later reached number 7 on the same chart following a cover by the Vogues in 1968. In 1962, Campbell signed with Capitol Records, where he initially experienced minor success with Too Late to Worry, Too Blue to Cry, his first single for the label, and Kentucky Means Paradise. However, a series of unsuccessful singles and albums followed. By 1963, Campbell's contributions as a musician and vocalist were featured on 586 recorded songs. Despite never learning to read music, he was proficient in playing the guitar, banjo, mandolin, and bass. From 1964 onward, Glen Campbell began to establish himself as a prominent figure in the music and television landscape. He made regular television appearances on Star Route, a syndicated series hosted by Rod Cameron, where his charm and musical talent captivated audiences. Additionally, he showcased his skills on ABC's popular shows Shindig and Hollywood Jamboree, further establishing his presence in the entertainment industry. Between December 1964 and early March 1995, Campbell embarked on a significant tour with the Beach Boys, stepping in for the iconic Brian Wilson. During this time, he played bass guitar and provided his signature falsetto harmonies, contributing to the band's rich sound and helping to maintain their momentum during Wilson's absence. In 1965, Campbell achieved a notable milestone in his solo career, reaching number 45 on the Billboard Hot 100 with his rendition of Buffy Sainte-Marie's significant song, Universal Soldier. The song's pacifist message resonated with many, but Campbell's comments regarding the consequences for those advocating for the burning of draft cards sparked controversy and debate, highlighting the tensions of the era. Despite the ups and downs of public opinion, Campbell continued to thrive as a session musician, lending his exceptional guitar skills to various projects. One of his most significant contributions during this period was to the Beach Boys' critically acclaimed 1966 album, Pet Sounds, which is often regarded as one of the greatest albums of all time. In April 1966, Campbell joined Rick Nelson on a tour of the Far East, once again taking on the role of bassist. This experience not only showcased his versatility as a musician, but also expanded his international appeal. The year 1967 marked a turning point in Campbell's career, as he collaborated with John Hartford on the hit song, Gentle on My Mind. The track became an instant success, earning him widespread recognition and acclaim. Later that same year, he released By the Time I Get to Phoenix, which further solidified his status as a leading artist in the country and pop music genres. Additionally, in 1967, Campbell's vocal talents were featured on My World Fell Down, a track by the studio group Sagittarius. Although he remained uncredited for his contribution, the song reached number 70 on the charts, showcasing his ability to blend seamlessly into various musical projects and genres. In 1968, Glen Campbell released Wichita Lineman, a composition by Jimmy Webb which achieved significant commercial success by reaching number 3 on the U.S. pop charts and maintaining a position within the top 100 for 15 weeks. Additionally, the song dominated the American country music chart for 2 weeks and the adult contemporary chart for 6 weeks in 1969. The song True Grit, composed by Elmer Bernstein with lyrics by Don Black and performed by Campbell, who also starred in the film, garnered nominations for both the Academy Award for Best Song and the Golden Globe for Best Original Song. Throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, Campbell released a succession of singles and appeared in films such as True Grit, alongside John Wayne and Kim Darby, as well as Norwood with Kim Darby and Joe Namath. In the mid-1970s, he continued to achieve success with hits like Rhinestone Cowboy, Southern Nights, and Sunflower, the latter reaching number 39 on the U.S. charts and written by Neil Diamond. Rhinestone Cowboy became Campbell's best-selling single, with over 2 million copies sold, while Southern Nights, written by Alan Toussaint, was another notable crossover hit, aided by the contributions of Jimmy Webb and Jerry Reed, who inspired the iconic guitar riff that made the song the most-played jukebox number of 1977. From 1971 to 1983, Campbell served as the celebrity host of the Los Angeles Open, an annual professional golf tournament on the PGA Tour. Between 1982 and 1983, he hosted a 30-minute syndicated music program titled The Glen Campbell Music Show. In 1991, Campbell lent his voice to the character Chanticleer, a rooster, in Don Bluth's live-action animated film Rock-a-Doodle. In 1999, he was prominently featured on VH1's Behind the Music, as well as on A&E Network's Biography, and a PBS concert special in 2001. Additionally, he made appearances on several CMT programs where he was recognized among the greatest figures in country music. He is acknowledged for providing Alan Jackson with his initial significant opportunity after Jackson collaborated with Campbell's music publishing company in the early 1990s. Furthermore, Campbell has been a source of inspiration for Keith Urban, who regards him as a major influence on his career as a performer. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.